The other aspect of our management that we want to focus on, we have done fits prevention and treatment. 1, 2, we have done blood pressure control. 3, now it's fluid management. So for fluid management, our target for fluid management, if possible, and this is where you're going to have a problem with anesthetists. Anesthetists, the moment you're thinking about delivering, say yes, they want to preload. Remember, this patient does not have a problem with fluids. They have lots of fluids, just it's not in the circulation. Remember, PET, especially with severe features, they have proteinuria. They're losing even more than 3 grams of protein per day. They're losing more than 3 grams per day of protein. So, protein is what holds fluid in circulation, something called oncotic pressure. The reason why you do not have edema is because the protein in your plasma keeps the fluid, makes the blood more concentrated, so the fluid stays inside the blood vessel or inside the cells or all that. But now this patient with PT is losing a lot of protein, so there's reduced oncotic pressure. If you give this patient a lot of fluid and there's nothing to hold it, all of it will still just go out into extracellular tissues and it will worsen the edema, it will fill the lungs and cause pulmonary edema. That's why fluid, if possible, do not give fluids, because the fluid will just worsen. We have a situation where patient is okay, you have controlled the BPs, you have controlled the fits, but we come in and we are taken to theater and we preload with 2 to 4 liters of fluid. We go in theater, all of a sudden respiratory rate goes up. Remember, magnesium sulfate toxicity, respiratory rate goes down. For fluid overload or pulmonary edema, respiratory rate goes up. And sometimes the anesthetist will report frothing and blood stain coming from the nose and all that. Pulmonary edema. You decide to resuscitate, but the patient is drowning in the fluids you have given. So if possible, do not give fluids for a patient with PET with severe features or a patient convulsing. But if you must give, then the correct dose is 80 ml per hour. This is the correct dose. Sometimes you can do 1 ml per kg per hour if you want to be more specific, but you don't have time to calculate this. It's 80 ml. So it means that 500 ml bottle of normal saline or Ringer's lactate, you can use any, should actually run for 5 to 6 hours. You should not give 2 liters to 4 liters in 30 minutes because you're taking the patient to theater. That bottle should run in 4 to 6 hours. That's how you give fluids. So, and in this time, you're actually being guided by the urine output. They're being guided. Sometimes you can actually look at the urine output. If in the previous 1 hour, the fluid was 60 ml, remember we said 30 to 60 ml is normal, then you can actually do 60 ml plus 40 ml. That's the fluid that you can give if you want to be more specific. The last hour fluid, remember again, after 24 hours after delivery of this patient, all this extracellular fluid, the patient might actually become oliguric. Oliguric means there will be reduced urine output 12 hours, 6 to 12 hours after delivery. Patient might become oliguric. Do not panic. That's just normal with PET patients. Then now, 12 to 24 hours, all this fluid now from the extracellular space is going to be forced back into the circulation, and the BPs might go up. BPs might go up 12 to 24 hours after delivery because of the fluid coming back from the extracellular space once you have removed the placenta. That's why most of the time, a patient with PT, you need to stay with the patient at least 48 to 72 hours 44% of patients with pre-eclampsia eclampsia, they are going to convulse after delivery. They're going to convulse after delivery. The fluid will come back, the BPs will shoot up, the convulsion will come in. Monitor this patient. Do not discharge this patient at home, even if the BP appear normal. So that is for fluid management. So then, after fluid management, we remember just a quick recap. Just a quick recap of what we talked about. Principle of management. We said principle of management: 1, prevention and treatment of fits. 2, blood pressure control. 3, fluid management. 4, now delivery. If you did not, the other videos, I have made videos for the above. Now we are at fluid delivery. Now, when do we deliver our patients? When do we deliver our patients? So, delivery here. It's never an emergency. Delivery is never an emergency in a pre-eclampsia patient. Just ensure that if the patient is convulsing, comes in convulsing, the sun rising and the sun should not set when the patient has not delivered. So you have 6 to 12 hours. That is for delivering a patient convulsing. But if it's PT without severe features, and I explained the severe features before, PT without severe features, then how do you deliver? 37 plus 0, 37 completed weeks. Deliver that patient. 37 completed weeks. No complication, just high BPs with proteinuria, no end organ damage. That's it. Then you can come with patient with PT with severe features. Patient with PT with severe features. Patient has high blood pressure, or say blood pressure is 160/110. That is a severe feature. You want to give magnesium sulfate for prophylaxis in each patient. They're not convulsing. Give magnesium sulfate for prophylaxis, or they have headache, or they have epigastric pain. Magnesium sulfate. Then aim to 34 completed weeks. 34 completed weeks deliver. If I'm the baby above 34 completed weeks, the lungs should have matured. The baby can actually be delivered and be monitored elsewhere. Especially PT with severe features above 34 weeks, deliver immediately. However, the patient can have PT with severe features but below 34 weeks. This patient, you can do monitoring, but in a high-level facility where we have gynecologists and all equipment, so that in case of anything, they can actually be monitored as you try to push to 34 weeks. As you try to push to 34 weeks, now you can have that as an alternative. If you are in a level 3 facility, level 4, you do not have a management, refer this patient for management with the severity. And because it's above 34 weeks, apart from magnesium sulfate, do not forget to give this patient corticosteroids to mature the lungs, because this patient can deliver anytime. PT with severe features below 34 weeks, above 28 weeks. If it's in a good setup, you can monitor. You have a CTG, you have nurses and everything, you can monitor. Magnesium sulfate, prophylaxis, and then you move. There are those patients that you deliver immediately. Deliver immediately. A patient with eclampsia, a convulsing patient, we say the sun should not rise and set when you have not delivered. Mode of delivery is not automatically cesarean section. It's not automatically cesarean section. If the patient comes in and they're in labor, active phase of labor, according to labor care guide, and the patients are convulsing, they're 8 centimeters, manage everything, let the mother push. There is no point of the mother is 9 centimeters, starts to convulse, and all of a sudden you panic and you want to take this patient to theater. If the contractions are okay, let the patient deliver. that if the patient comes in convulsing, the patient is not in labor, she's not even in active phase of labor. By the time you induce this patient and they go into active phase and all that, it will be more than 12 hours. So in that case, you want to deliver via cesarean section. Same applies with patient with PT with severe features. Then, if patient comes in, the baby there is non-reassuring fetal status. Now the diagnosis has changed. You want to save the baby. So it does not matter even if the patient has PT without severe features. The baby status, you want to save this baby. If it's above 34 weeks, deliver immediately. Or even if it's 28 weeks, give steroids, monitor, magnesium sulfate, then deliver. If the patient has signs of end organ damage, severe pulmonary edema, kidney failure, liver issues, then deliver that patient immediately for that. So look at the patient, look at the mother, make your clinical judgment. Delivery, the most recommended one is SVD. But we have talked about the conditions that can push you to deliver it for CS. So that is for delivery. Then now we go to management of complications. Management of complications. Way to manage. Complication 1, eclampsia. I already talked about it, so you already know how to manage it. The second complication, again, commonest is actually placenta abruption. Placenta abruption, which we have covered in another module. Placenta abruption, how to manage. And then you can have the third complication. It's called the HELP syndrome. HELP syndrome. HELP syndrome, H is for hemolysis. H is for hemolysis. EL is elevated liver enzymes. Liver enzymes. LP is low platelets. So, how will you know hemolysis? The easiest way to know is when you are doing liver function tests, you find this elevated bilirubin. Bilirubin is produced when HB, red blood cells, are broken down. So that's the easiest way to know about hemolysis. Second thing is elevated liver enzymes, ST and LT. The best liver marker is actually LT and not ST. ST is not specific. Then low platelets, you did a full hemogram. Platelets of less than 100,000. Thrombocytopenia of less than 100,000. That is HELP syndrome. Intravascular coagulation, DIC. Disseminated intravascular coagulation. Then the other complication that you can have with severe PT is the PRESS syndrome. The PRESS syndrome. So this is just because of the high BPs causing cerebral edema, and the patient will have photophobia, blurred vision, and sometimes temporary blindness because of this press. And then we can press this posterior reversible encephalopathy syndrome. So that is PRESS syndrome. Then now you can actually have complications to the baby. Complications to the baby. We already talked about intrauterine growth retardation, preterm delivery. So the baby will be a preterm, and you can have a stroke. The mother can have a stroke. You can have a heart attack. You can have complications from magnesium sulfate and all that. So take home message for pre-eclampsia eclampsia. It is an easy thing to manage. Do not panic. Always remember the steps. Remember the steps. The first one is prevention or management of fits. You have magnesium sulfate, you know how to give IM, IV, you're good to go. Second one is blood pressure control. Do not reduce the blood pressure to below 110 with the 3 drugs, fast-acting drugs. The third one is fluid. If possible, don't give fluids because of the pulmonary edema. If you must give fluids, it's 80 ml per hour. The fourth one is delivery. Delivery is not an emergency. If a mother is convulsing, like her mother was convulsing, you have 6 to 12 hours to deliver. Manage convulsion, manage blood pressure, avoid fluids, then deliver. Mode of delivery, best mode of delivery, clinical judgment. The best mode is actually not a cesarean section. Remember, thrombocytopenia, anemia in this patient, going to do a CS probably might end up with worse outcome. But if this patient comes in convulsing, they're not in labor, the best management is cesarean section. If it's PT with severe features or without severe features, but there's no immediate danger to the mother and to the baby, induce the patient, monitor, and deliver. Basically, that's it. Last one is management of complications. Otherwise, thank you, and you can wait for the other modules to come.